At ease, brothers. What does it mean to see the world through the lens of God? And I'm asking that, man, because I ask that question quite often. And I'm wondering if when I say that, man, people think that I mean, live this world and see the world with unconditional love. You have to understand, man, it goes far beyond that. Like when I'm saying a man must see the world through the lens of God, it's a man that's making that deepest connection with source. I'm talking about the Trinity in real time is really what I'm explaining, man. I'm not sure what time you're watching this video, brothers, but it is currently 2:39 a.m. Central, right? So when I say see the world through the lens of God, this is what I mean, man. So I'm at one of my son's football games last Friday, man. My son is a senior. And if you know anything about Texas football, man, it's on a whole different level, man. So I'm in my son's football game, and the band is playing, the crowd is loud, the stadium is full, man. And they're blowing this team out, right? And it's probably about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. I think it's 2 minutes and something left in the game, man. And the quarterback on our team is rolling out, boom, boom, rolling out, and all of a sudden, man, just snaps his ankle. And I'm not talking about sprains his ankle. I'm talking about snaps his ankle, where everybody in the stadium can see this guy's ankle laying sideways, man. And you talking about this whole crowd on both sides just goes silent. And a lot of the trainers and although that part of the staff go out to the field, man. And you know how they normally just kind of lean down and start making sure somebody's good. They kind of put a circle around this guy to kind of block the visual because they know how bad it is, man. And the crowd is just silent. And when I say silent, it's so quiet that you can like hear babies crying, and you could hear a cell phone ringing on the other side of the field. I'm talking about just moments before, man, it's chaos. And all of a sudden, man, you can dang near hear crickets of all these people. It's football, man, so it's to be expected. Like there's an injury on the field, right? And, everybody's looking around, and the first thing I know everybody's thinking is, okay, where's the ambulance? Because this is bad. I've never even been to a game where an ambulance wasn't on site, and 2 or 3 minutes passes. Quiet, crowd still quiet. And I'm like, dang, where's the truck? Everybody's thinking surely the same thing. Where's the truck? This guy's in pain. 10 minutes passes. 10 whole minutes passes. Still no truck. Everybody's just quiet. Right? And man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Something was triggered in me that hasn't been triggered in a number of years, bro. For some reason, man, it just took me back to Iraq, bro. It was like I no longer saw a young man on the field with a sprained ankle. I saw a man down, and I was curious on why the world wasn't, why everybody in the stadium wasn't trying to figure something out. It's like, where's the truck? And brother, I'm just boiling. And the craziest thing happened, man. And I'm sitting right beside my ex-wife. I'm sitting right beside my son's mother. All of a sudden, everything just kind of goes numb in me. And everybody kind of fades away. And I remember standing up. It's still silent, bro. I remember standing up and I said, this is BS. And I'm walking to the end of the row we're standing on. We're in the stadium. I walked to the end of the row. I don't even remember saying anything to her. I just remember walking off. And I walk halfway down the stairs and I stop. And I'm looking around at everybody, all the parents, all the kids, and everybody's just, it's like they're asleep. Anyway, I walk on down to the bottom, man, and I turn right to kind of head, I don't know where I was going, to kind of just head out the stands. And as I make this turn, brother, I'm boiling. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, why isn't anybody tripping? We're probably 12 minutes deep. This brother's, man down on the field, and nobody's asking, where's the truck? I get down to the bottom of the stands, right? And when I get down to the bottom of the stands, I see a little gate that I can just push open and walk on the field. So I push this gate open. The place is packed, quiet as a church mouse in there. And I'm walking toward the field. You know, I'm walking on the track part now. And I'm walking on the track part, and I stop again, and I look up at the crowd. And by this time, I'm red, bro. I said, nobody's concerned about the truck? Am I dreaming? Am I the only one here? And by the time I do that, you know, the coaches kind of look and they see me. And one of the coaches is coming toward me, and he's real quiet. He's like, hey, we understand. We understand why you're pissed off. We're looking into it. We're trying to figure it out ourselves. And by that time, one of the parents came and tapped me on the shoulder. He said, hey, man, you're right. You know, we something is not right. And I'm tripping on why nobody else is tripping. I'm talking about what, 20,000 people, 10,000. I don't know how many people are there, but it's packed. And I'm saying nobody's tripping. And this is the thing, brother. This is what I'm saying when I say see the world through the lens of God. As that brother tapped me on my shoulder, man, and was attempting to walk me out, because I told him this. I said, man, I can't even stay here. I'm walking out the stadium at this point. I said, I can't even be here with y'all people. As I'm turning away, man, to leave this stadium, what I felt was, and at this point, I can see the little circle around the child, which I couldn't see the kid on the field, but there's a circle around them. As I'm turning around and walking away from that scene, it was no longer me feeling like a man was down. It felt like that was me. It felt like that was me. So the way I'm responding is if it was me. So when I say, you know, see the world through the lens of God, it means to see every single thing, every single person in this planet as if they are you. Like there's no deeper love than that. And I'm looking around this stadium, man. I'm like nobody is concerned. Like why is nobody tripping? We're 15 minutes deep, and a man is down, and nobody's tripping. You know. And I'm walking out the stadium, brother, and I'm just red. And it's just like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I said, there's something wrong. I said, there's something wrong with the way this world works. Like, there's a reason why there's so much chaos, man. It's because a lot of people are so consumed with themselves that they can't see the world for what it is. So when I say to love the world, like when I say to see the world through the lens of God, I'm saying to see every single one of your brothers and sisters as you see yourself. As you see yourself. I was on TikTok the other day, man. And I'm still kind of new to TikTok. You know, I got a few posts over there, but I'm scrolling through TikTok, man, and I guess once you see a video and you're scrolling, it ain't just showing you videos of people you follow. It's just showing you everybody's stuff, right? And I'm sitting there scrolling on TikTok for about 5 or 6 seconds. And I'm scrolling, and boom, a familiar face comes on TikTok. It's an ex of mine, man. And not just any ex of mine. It's Beautiful Faces of Evil ex. You know what I'm saying? You know, a woman that I spent, you know, a decade with ex. And over the last, you know, which I hadn't talked to her, man, in a couple of years, but even our last few conversations, man, of course, you know, there was static, there was arguments, and the breakup went a certain way, and there was just beef, man. And this story that I'm looking at, it's her page, it's her story. It was, I think her birthday, it might have been a couple of days after her birthday. Anyway, it was her birthday celebration in this video. And she was celebrating her birthday, and she got engaged, right? This was the whole video about her getting engaged and her celebrating her birthday, had her new fiance, man, and just the whole vibe. It was a dope video. And man, I'm gonna tell you, that was one of the happiest moments of 2024 for me, man. Because as I'm sitting there watching that video, bro, I see myself in that situation. And it like all the beef we had in the past, I sit there, man, and I'm watching the video, and I'm like, dang it, like man, this is dope. And I remember watching the video, and I walked in the kitchen, and I made me a bowl of fruit and made me some coffee, which is a weird combination. And I sit at the table, man, and for about 10 minutes of me sitting there eating, I was fellowshipping. Like I was sitting in the house by myself, fellowshipping, man, just like celebrating. Like celebrating a scenario of a person that I'll probably never talk to again in my life, a person that I had beef with. And of course we had some good times, man. And that's a lot of what I was thinking about. I said, you know what, man, we had a lot of beef. We had a lot of arguments. We had a lot of issues. I said, but at the same time, man, we had a lot of fun. Yeah, we spent lots of times in the Bahamas. We spent lots of time and I said, man, when I saw her, I saw myself in her. So I'm sitting there celebrating, man. So when I say see the world through the lens of God, brothers, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about seeing people in this planet as if they're you. And what seems easy to me, I understand that the far majority of people, I understand that apparently 1 in every, let's say 10,000 people in a football stadium can do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I say see the world through the lens of God, I'm talking about something completely different than what people think I'm talking about. Even in the Bible, man. Even in the Bible when it says, and I don't know what verse it is, and I can't really even remember the scenario. But there was a point in the Bible when I believe it was the messenger was saying, hey, like you say you love me. You say you love God. You say you have this love and all this stuff and you're connected to source and all that stuff. It says, but when you see your brother thirsty, you keep it moving. When you see your brother hungry, you say nothing. When you see your brother in prison, you forget about him. And you say you love me? Like you can't possibly love me because you see me needing you all the time. And apparently you don't see yourself in everything else. Like I remember when I used to walk down when I used to live downtown Dallas, and it's pretty much every city. It's hard to live downtown and go from A to B, walk to the store and back, and not come across somebody that's homeless or somebody that's in need. And it's very challenging, man, to walk by people and you got a few dollars in your pocket and not give it to them. And again, like I said in yesterday's video, when I say something like that, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, holier than thou is me and I'm giving. No, because it's not me. It's the way that I see the world. I see myself in every situation. Every situation. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different way. It's just a different way of seeing the world, man. And you have to understand. It's just a whole nother. It's like this. Even in the Bible, and I'm not sure where this is. When it says the man's two greatest commandments, and it says the greatest commandment is to love God and put no other above him, and this. That's the greatest commandment. But then it said the second commandment is to love your brother like you love yourself. And I'm gonna tell you this: the first time I read that, I was kind of like, okay, that's weird. I was like, okay, the first one I get, but I would think there would be so many other levels of information before we get to that second one. Like love your brother as you love yourself. Like that's huge. But I would think there would be something else in between that. But as I got older, man, as I got more understanding, I understand it now. Like, okay, love God is number one. But the second one is actually the exact same thing. It's actually saying the exact same thing over. Love God, put no other thing above him. Second commandment, love your brother like you love yourself, which is the same thing as love God. Like you say you love me, show me. Love yourself. A man with this understanding can't have enemies. It's hard to have. I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. And I put this on everything. If a man, because a person can violate me or talk about me and all this kind of stuff, I still love him like I love myself, or her like I love myself, right? If it gets to the point where they leave that place of love, it becomes, and I want to say this the right way for YouTube, for the algorithm, make sure I don't, But if it gets to a point where they're outside of that realm of love, it's death. It's death. It's like I'm willing to take my own hands and cross you over at that point. And it's hard to get there, but it's like if you are in that realm, then it's death. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, to love, to see the world through the lens of God, man, it's way more deeper than unconditional love. Like a man can't have enemies. That's why when I hear these brothers online, man, all these conscious brothers online talking about, yeah, man, I'm conscious and wise, but the brother on the other side of the line that looks a different way or believes a different thing is the enemy. It's like, no, brother. If you really walking in the highest level of being, you have no enemies. They don't exist because you understand that every single person you see is you. It's you. You know what I'm saying? I got there's a I ain't gonna tell that story. There's a female friend of mine. Just a good friend of mine, man. And I can't remember exactly what happened, man. A couple of years ago. It's probably been 2 years ago. We had some beef, man. We had some static, you know. And she would always say, she's from the East Coast. She's from the East Coast, right? And she's always, every time, as long as I've been knowing her, she's been talking about, hey, one day I'm going to move to Cali. I'm moving to Cali. And yesterday, when I made that video yesterday, man, when I said, hey, y'all brothers, do me a favor, man. I said, before you go to sleep tonight, go inside and find that place of forgiveness, right? So like when I'm talking to my brothers, I'm talking to myself. So I did that exact same thing yesterday, not too long after after I made that video. And I'm sitting there, man, and I'm sitting in my chair right here doing my meditation like I'm always doing. And I go inside, man, and I'm going back in time. I'm saying, bro, let me go inside and see if there's anybody that I need to forgive or I haven't forgiven or I need to. And this sister comes to my mind, right? Again, hadn't talked to her in 2 years, man. And I shoot her a text. I said, hey, I said, hey, it was Labor Day yesterday, right? I said, hey, happy Labor Day. I said, whenever you make that trip from where you live at to California, I said, when you hit Texas, let me know. I said, I'm gonna buy you some coffee, man. We sit there and just chop it up, right? And about 15 minutes later, I get a phone call, right? And it's her, right? And she called and it's like, well, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on? Long story short, she's in Texas. Not only is she in Texas, but she's probably about 20 minutes down the road, 30 minutes down the road. Like this chick lives in whole another state. Just so happens she's within, less than half an hour away from me, man. And I'm like, and she says, hey, I'm at a Starbucks. In Arlington. And I said, well, shoot, say less, man. Like, I sit there and say that when you coming through on bite, say less. So I went down there, man, and we had some coffee yesterday and just had some good fellowship. Just had some good fellowship, man. And I'm telling you, brothers, it's a different way of life, man, when you can, hell, I don't care if you got beef with somebody. When you can come back, man, and see every single person as if you see yourself. It's just a different way of living, man. And the thing is, you have to understand, I would love to say this is a superpower, bro, but it's deeper than that. You have to understand, man, like with this understanding, I can roam this world with my balls out. I can move different now, bro, because I'm under a completely different jurisdiction than most men. And I understand that now. Like when I talk about, the freedoms and the protection of Psalms 91, like this is what I'm talking about. When it talks about, people living up under the protection of God, this is not for everybody. This doesn't pertain to everybody. It's only people who choose to walk in the deepest levels of that connection, bro. And I'm not sitting there saying, again, I'm holier than thou. I'm just saying everybody has the ability to tap into this. But brother, you gotta peel off some layers, man. Like all this racism and pointing the finger, like all that stuff is child's play. You gotta trash all of that stuff, bro. But once you tap into that, man, it's like it's a whole nother way of living. Like life is doing something completely different. Not saying that I'm 100% immune to all the things that everybody else is dealing with, right? I mean, because I'm in the same world as y'all. Like if I want to complain about the fuel prices, or if I want to complain about what the things the world is doing, I can, because I'm in the same world. But if I'm seeing the world through the lens of God, again, it goes back to what I always say. Stop looking, stop thinking of a God and start thinking as a God. Stop thinking of a God and start thinking as a God. So if I'm thinking as a God, if I'm in this same world as you, then I can navigate different. I can live without allowing fear to rise up when something happens. I can walk in that authority that I've been given, because I see the world as God sees it. So again, brothers, when I say, that we should learn to see the world through the lens of God, brother, it goes far beyond unconditional love.